Y'all, we are in for some really good women's basketball this weekend. What is up, awesome people of the internet? Happy Thanksgiving. And here is everything you need to know about the Cayman Island Classic, when to watch it, where to watch it, and also we're going to dive deep into the UConn versus UCLA battle. All right, guys, let's get into it. So what is the Cayman Islands Classic? Well, it is a tournament that has been around since 2017 for men, and this year is the inaugural year for the women's teams when they are able to participate in this tournament. So starting this Friday, 8 teams will compete in a 2-day tournament. Participating schools include 4 very well-known programs, also 4 not so well-known programs. So we have reigning champs LSU. They were 34-2 last season. We have UConn participating as well. They were 31-6 last year, and they also made it to the Sweet 16. We have Virginia Tech, who won 31 games last year. They won the ACC championship, and they also made it to the Final Four last year. UCLA was 27-10 last season, and they also advanced to the Sweet 16. And in the offseason, they got a huge pickup in Lauren Betts from Stanford. Kansas is another team that's participating in the tournament. They were 25-11 last year, and they made it to the WNIT and actually won the tournament in a pretty close game against Columbia. We also have Tulane participating. They were 18-14 last year, and they also played in the WNIT tournament for their 3rd year straight. And then we have Virginia, who was 15-15 last year. They did get an invite to play in the WNIT, but they declined it because they had a limited number of healthy bodies last season. They were pretty injury prone towards the end of last season for Virginia. And then we round out the list of participating teams with Niagara, who was 18-13 last year. This was the first time that they had a winning record since 2004. So huge shouts out to Niagara for doing that. And they also made it to the WNIT, which is the first time that they'd ever done so in history. So shout out to Niagara. So yeah, that is the mix of teams. It's a really interesting mix of sort of top teams around the country that are bound for the NCAA tournament and bound to make it far in the NCAA tournament. And then you also have these sort of lesser known WNIT teams who are solid in the WNIT, but are relatively unknown for fans who don't really pay attention to top 25 teams. So yeah, that's the teams that are playing. And let's kind of talk about the biggest game of the tournament. The biggest game is on Friday, tomorrow, when we see number 6 UConn versus number 2 UCLA battle it out. Now, this is going to be a very good matchup, and one that I am very much looking forward to. To me, it is the matchup of the weekend. That's because both teams are number 6 and number 2 in the country, but also they have some straight up ballers, and they have a very similar sort of guard post combination that really are the stars for the team. So for UCLA, they have Lauren Betts, who is 6'7" and can just dominate the paint. They also have Charisma Osborne, who, she's a guard and straight up scorer. UCLA has, they haven't really played that many teams of note at all. And they kind of like destroyed the competition so far, with the exception of that Princeton game. Shout out to Princeton, because Princeton gave UCLA a run for their money, and UCLA almost lost that game. But they won it, and they come into this game against UConn undefeated. And as we know, UConn is not undefeated. They lost to NC State. And in a similar fashion to UCLA, UConn also has a guard post duo in Paige Beckers and Aaliyah Edwards. Aaliyah Edwards is 6'3". She technically is a forward, but she plays center for UConn right now. She is very undersized in the post, but she can find a way to score and get to the basket and make some things happen. Though a potential issue that UConn is going to have is her just not being big enough to sort of guard some of these bigger and taller players. And then for Paige Beckers, what is there to say? Paige is back. And she's doing some of the things that we saw her do in her freshman year. that freshman version of Paige Beckers, who was the player of the year and all that jazz. It seems like she's coming back. She's had some very good games this season, and she's gonna ball out in this game. In this UCLA UConn game, I think we're gonna really see a glimpse of what's to come in the NCAA tournament. We've had some very good games this season so far. A lot of really good games in that first week of women's basketball. Last week, it wasn't that many like top games in week 2, but now in week 3, this really is the game of the week. UCLA versus UConn. And I'm very, very much happy to watch this game. Personally, I think that UCLA is going to come out on top. I do think it's going to be a pretty close game, but it's probably going to be UCLA by like maybe 10 or so points. The main reason why is because Lauren Betts, she is the X factor that will determine this game. Because she is so tall and so big, and I just don't think anybody on UConn can stop her. Like, she's just, she's a player that basically not that many teams around the country has another player that can kind of stand toe to toe with Lauren Betts. And for UConn, they are undersized. They just are. If you look at their roster, there's not that much height on it. And so when it comes to taller teams like UCLA, especially in the paint, it's going to be a problem that UConn really has to solve for. There's probably going to be a lot of traps probably when Lauren Betts gets the ball because Aaliyah Edwards cannot guard Lauren Betts by herself in my opinion. I think there's going to be a lot of traps. And then Lauren is probably going to just kick it out to some of the guards, and then we'll see, who can shoot threes and whatnot, because Lauren Betts is the X factor. If they don't trap Lauren Betts, she's going to have 25 points in this game, maybe even more, because it's just hard to stop a player that is that tall and that big. And she's good. It's not like that she's big for no reason. Lauren Betts is a very solid post player. She played at Stanford last year, didn't get as much playing time, so she wanted to leave. And she's really made UCLA her team. Her and Charisma, and also Kiki Rice, who have really been the leaders of this team, and it's pretty exciting to see. It's exciting to see that UCLA is kind of getting back there. To being a program that is that should be feared in the women's college game. But yeah, I have UCLA winning. But I do want you all to let me know what you think. Who do you think is going to win this game? Do you think UConn can squeak out a win? Do you think it's UCLA's? Also, a thing to note: if you didn't watch my other video, AZ Fudd is out for the rest of the season due to a season-ending injury. I made a video about that if you want to watch that up here. So AZ Fudd will not be playing in this tournament. Also, for those who want to watch this game live, this game is at 7:30 Eastern on Friday on Flow Hoops, which we will talk more about Flow Hoops in a sec. Now on to the other games. So I think for the most part, they're going to be a lot more underwhelming because we won't see LSU play any of the top teams. So LSU will play Niagara on Friday, and they'll also play Virginia on Saturday. And for those who are wondering, it was reported by Flow Hoops that Angel Reese was not at team practice today. Also, it's not actually known if she even traveled with the team. So for those who are wondering, what about Angel Reese? We don't know. We'll find out and see if she's on the bench at tomorrow's game. But yeah, that's your Angel Reese update for those who are wondering. Also, we will not be able to see Virginia Tech play any of the top teams either. Virginia Tech will be playing Kansas on Friday and Tulane on Saturday. So there for sure needs to be a shout out to both UConn and UCLA for actually giving people what they want to see. When it comes to tournaments like this, you want a chance for some of the lesser known teams to be able to play on a big stage and whatnot. Like, yes, you want that, but you also want to see big games. And unfortunately, the only big game for this tournament is this UConn and UCLA game. They gave people what they wanted, and unfortunately, Virginia Tech and LSU did not. So that's a bummer, but it is what it is. Maybe next year we'll have more of the bigger games, not just big teams that are participating, but like making them actually go against each other. Like I think LSU Virginia Tech could have been fun for this tournament in particular. We kind of talked about a little bit of everything in regards to this tournament. Talked about some of the games, talked about the game of the week. And now let's talk about where you can actually find these games. So all of the games for the Cayman Islands Classic will be available on Flow Hoops. For those who do not know, Flow Hoops is a website that streams a bunch of basketball games. They also do a couple of other sports as well. They stream Big East games. They are streaming the Cancun Challenge, which is actually happening right now. If you want to go and watch that today. They also have other NCAA tournaments and classics and whatnot that you can watch on Flow Hoops. They are a subscription channel, so you can sign up for it either annually or monthly. The annual price is $150 a year, and the monthly price is $30. And with that subscription, you actually get to watch games live and on demand. So if you miss a game live, don't worry about it. You can just watch it later. I personally am signing up for the annual plan because I think that beyond this sort of Cayman Islands, like the Cayman Islands games, I will actually use the service probably to watch future tournaments and just future games in general. I've already seen a couple games that I do want to tune into in the future. So do you all have a Flow Hoops account already? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you do not have an account with Flow Hoops, will you subscribe? Let me know in the comments below because it's gonna be a big game. Though it really is one game. You know, it's unfortunate that you can't just like purchase one game from Flow Hoops because I think there'd be a lot of people who just would like to purchase that UCLA UConn game, and they likely won't watch anything else. But yeah, if that's you, you might just have to fork out $30 and then cancel after this month is over. But at least you get to watch the game live. At least you get to watch it live. I do think that overall the amount of subscriptions you need to watch women's basketball is just kind of wild and crazy. Like there's a lot of subscriptions I have just to be able to watch as many games as possible for women's basketball. And then also to sort of stay up on women's basketball knowledge, there's a lot of like news subscriptions you have to have. So it's like to be a fan, to be an actual like active fan, it just requires a lot of money. Which is crazy, but I think that's a story for another time. I'll probably make a video at some point about the cost, the financial cost of being a women's basketball fan. All right, guys, that is everything you need to know about the Cayman Islands Classic. We talked about who's participating. We talked about some of the games. You now know where to go to watch those games. But yeah. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. Do you think UCLA over UConn, or is it UConn over UCLA? Also, do you anticipate any upsets? I don't think LSU or Virginia Tech will lose any of their games. But if you do, let me know in the comments below. Yeah, that's basically the video, guys. I do want to say a happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I know there's a lot of people outside of America who watches my channel. So for those people, happy Thursday. but for Americans, happy Thanksgiving. In this Thanksgiving, I have just been reflective on how awesome these last couple months have been. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in and watching this channel and supporting and leaving your awesome comments and encouragement and all that stuff. I really appreciate it, guys. This community is awesome, and I'm very, very grateful for it. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. I hope you have a safe one. I hope y'all eat some good food, watch some good games. There's lots of football games on. Hope you watch some women's basketball today as well. And I just hope you all have a great day. All right, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you all think about the Cayman Islands Classic in the comments below. If you can, please like this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. All right, guys, I will probably be back tomorrow. I'm not quite sure if I will do live coverage of the UConn UCLA game or if I will do a post-game show, a live stream. So let me know if y'all have a preference on which one y'all want. But I appreciate y'all. And I'll talk to y'all next time. Until next time, guys. Bye.